Hi, you're watching Keepin' It Green. I'm your host, Debbie Klughers, and I have with me Mr. Gordian Raacke, the Executive Director and founder of Renewable Energy Long Island. And Gordian, you were on a previous show and decided to have you come back to talk about a trip to Denmark.
Well, I love this show so much, I just couldn't get enough of it.
Thank you.
So, yes, well, we have a proposal here in the metropolitan New York, Long Island region for an offshore wind park. And there really aren't any offshore wind parks in the United States. There are many in Europe. And a few years ago, I had a chance to go to Europe. I was visiting my dad in Berlin. He lives in Berlin. And
not a business trip, a personal trip.
A pleasure trip for me. And I decided I might as well just take a look. I was really curious what these offshore wind parks look like. I had seen wind turbines on land, but I'd never actually seen them in the ocean. And there was a controversy here whether this is the right thing to do, whether it's going to kill birds and fish and have all kinds of negative environmental impacts.
And aesthetics.
Does it make a lot of noise? What do they look like from land and so forth? So I really wanted to go and see for myself. And I took a train to Copenhagen, got on the wonderful train system they have in Europe, in Berlin. And within about 20 minutes outside of Berlin, there were wind turbines zipping by the window, you know, because they've got a lot of land-based turbines over there.
About 20%.
And well, in Denmark, they generate 20% of their electricity from wind energy. But I took my camera out and snapped pictures, and after a while, people were looking at me like, "What? This guy's never seen a wind turbine?" You know? After a while, it was just the whole way, more or less. I mean, every few minutes, you would see another 3 or 4 turbines in the fields. You know, farmers use it as a cash crop. They you know, use it to make additional money, generate electricity, sell it to the utility company, and it's green and emission-free electricity, so it's a good thing for everybody, of course. But so the first lesson I learned was that over there, wind turbines are quite a common sight in the landscape.
No big deal. Everyone's used to it.
People got very used to it. And
did you hear anything? Was there anything bothersome?
In terms of noise, you mean? Yeah. No, on the train, no, you couldn't hear anything. I mean, you're going on a fast train that's going, you know, 150 miles an hour, whizzing through the landscape, and it's tough to even take pictures at that speed. They got a great train system over there. But when we got to Copenhagen, and I saw the offshore turbines, and you can see them from the cobblestone streets of Copenhagen, I said, wow, they really must love this stuff, because it's so visible, and it's right there in the harbor of Copenhagen, just maybe a mile or so offshore, I don't remember exactly. But I got to visit what's called the Middle Grunden wind park. That this was back in 2003. And we're going to see that in a video in a little bit. And I was lucky enough to get the company who runs that, and it's a cooperative project. Actually, citizens of Copenhagen formed a cooperative and actually own part of the wind park. Interesting. And so they took me out on a boat. We went out to where the mermaid is actually. Wait,
now you were just the tourist that comes along, and you asked, "Can you take me out?"
No, no. I made some calls. I actually sent some emails and contacted them ahead of time to be sure that.
They're really nice over there.
Well, they are very nice, but no, I wanted to arrange this a little bit ahead of time. And so we went out there and passing smokestacks with smoke coming out of it, you know, generating power, the old-fashioned way and the very polluting way. And then when we came out to the turbines, and you'll see this in the video, wow, what a sight, what a sight. And I remember at one point, the captain pulled up at the base of the turbine, and we were going to climb up, and I was really curious about the sound. The diesel engine of the boat was so loud that I said, "Are you going to turn this thing off so I can hear the sound or the noise from the wind turbine?" Because that's one thing I was really curious about. And he did, and there was not much noise at all. You could have a normal conversation. You didn't.
And you were right underneath a whole array of them.
And you'll see this in the video. I mean, it's like less noise, I would say, than standing by a road and cars going by. Now, it wasn't blowing very hard, but you'll see in the video. I mean, it's what's interesting about it for me was that you really have to see it and experience it to understand what this technology can do.
Sure.
there are so many misconceptions about wind power out there. People think that they will chop up thousands of birds, that they will harm marine life, that they will cause a lot of noise. I mean, there are all these things. And in Europe, that has certainly not been the case. Now, wind turbines have to be sited properly. They have to be, you have to do site assessments and environmental impact studies. If you put them in the wrong place, that would be a bad thing to do. So it's not like you can just pick a spot on the map and say, we'll put a wind park here and be done. All the environmental impact studies have to be done properly and very carefully, because you don't want to harm wildlife. You don't want to cause significant environmental impacts. But that's what they're planning to do with a proposed offshore wind park for New York City and Long Island.
That's right.
And that's going to be the Long Island Power Authority working with Con Edison in the City of New York, the New York Power Authority, and several other partners to build a large offshore wind farm in this country off our shores. It'll be about 13 miles off the Long Island shore. And so on most days, you wouldn't even be able to see those turbines.
And how many turbines are they proposing?
They don't know exactly yet. I think it's going to be 350 megawatts in the first stage, and then possibly 700 megawatts. If you used a 3.6 megawatt turbine, which is a good size today, that would mean about 100 in the first phase and an additional 100 in the second phase. But these turbines are getting bigger and bigger. And I tell you, they're huge.
Well, they're not little like this.
They're not little like this. The model, this model in real size would be about 426 feet from the water to the tip of the blade.
And this was a souvenir from Denmark. So this is what they sell.
This one, actually, I went to an offshore wind conference in Berlin. The European Wind Energy Association had that in our goodie bag when I came to that conference. So I brought that back. This sits on my desk here at the Renewable Energy Long Island office every day, and I like to do this with it.
There you go. And how many homes is the proposed wind park off of Long Island going to power? Do they have an estimate?
I don't have that estimate yet. That's stuff that you can find on a website. We'll have some information about that on our website as this thing becomes
But it's going to do a substantial amount of energy production.
Oh yes, yes, and it's not going to instantly power all of Long Island.
Right.
It's going to be the beginning of a whole process of weaning ourselves off of fossil fuels and getting ourselves into an economy that provides energy in a clean and environmentally friendly manner.
Great. Well, let's watch this video, and then we'll wrap it up after that. So
that sounds
check
good.
Out that video.
In April of 2003, I had the opportunity to visit Denmark and the beautiful city of Copenhagen and to see how Denmark integrates its wind electricity generating plants into the landscape. What struck me was that the Middle Grunden project and other offshore wind projects in the city of Copenhagen have really become part of the landscape. And many people don't even see them anymore or don't even think about them anymore, but they do enjoy the clean and environmentally friendly electricity that they produce.